The book, when President Trump came into office, it became apparent very clearly early that this can be a different animal, and so it was a very painful book to write. It was and even today, because every time I go out and step out and say something, I know that I'm don't want I'm not a martyr. I don't think I'm anybody like that, but I know that there are people who don't want these messages out there. People and so, I have to be thinking about my family and people have responsibility too, and things like that. But so this is a book though. I'm the only person who worked in the administration outside of the DC bubble, but out in the real world, like the Mississippi Delta and of South Florida, where everything happens, or in the Kentucky mountains of Kentucky, or the P. Diddy in South Carolina. And so I told the story about how his policies impacted people in the real world, tabletop issues from COVID, his denial of COVID. Oh, it's just going to disappear. And his basically the rhetoric around the justice marches, things like that, and, the way he talked about treating people and immigration and finally the Affordable Care Act, because he tried over 70 times to replace and repeal the Affordable Care Act. And I think he frankly had a hard on to destroy Obama's legacy. And he did everything he could to do that. And they're still working on that. So I talked about those things from a perspective, of a black man, of a Christian, and a person that's a justice.
Consider myself agnostic when it comes to politics.